Hello again, YouTubers. Jon Woon here from the Royal Astrologers. We're going to cover a little topic today in this segment. It has to do with love, per se. Now, take into example first the combination where the Lord of the 5th house is actually in transit through the 12th. This can make people kind of lose their self-confidence and a low self-esteem, turning them into really negative people. And when the dragon's head comes into contact, of which the dragon's head is a forceful overlord per se, someone who, an entity that actually forces its will upon you and never for the right reasons. When this comes into play, into this action here, people tend to go crazy and they lose all control in themselves and they seek a sort of desperation just to get out of this dark hole that they're in. Now, looking into a deeper connection here, if you were to notice, the most critical combination that you can actually find is when Venus is in a house that is followed by Neptune and then the dragon's head. Now this makes a person actually become an extremist, full of elusive dreams, full of fear, full of phobia, and it always has to do with the ones that they love and hold dearest to them. This, as most of you can relate to me, can be a very painful time and a very, very troubling time for each of us to have to worry over the safety of someone that we love. Now, most important influences of love and relationship, well, the three most important points in the influence of love and relationship to be: one would hope to impress and of course win the affections and attentions of the one that they love. The next point is actually to gain oneself a level of position and status in a relationship. For some, it's actually more of a power struggle that they wish to dominate others, and it can lead to terrible, terrible things. Most importantly, in my opinion, coming from a personal training background as well, combined with the astrological background, using sex for a form of health, revitalization in the sense of being troubled. Now, sex is a beautiful and wonderful thing. In the scientific terms, it releases a lot of endorphins that just makes a person feel so great. However, when using sex as a tool to get a person out of a problematic situation, that is terribly wrong. It is like using wood to try and beat out a burning house. You know, that little stick of wood is just going to burn and add to the flames. It's not going to help anyone. Recently in the news, you will actually find that there are many mediums who extort these weaknesses of people. They find these weaknesses, they prey upon it, and they use this for, well, they call themselves prophets, but they're more in it for the profit per se. In these news readings that you might find on the internet as well, they abuse this sort of things and use threats, all sorts of curses, and you know, like, oh, if you don't do as I tell you to, or if you don't have sex with me, as many of them are very, very infamous for, that these curses will fall upon your family and many of them will die a horrible and insufferable death. In my truest and honest opinion, as with my background of astrology and learning the art has gone, the many masters who have taught me this beautiful magical art that has helped so many in need has always had one rule. Take it as a kind of oath that we undertake before we actually are allowed and given the permission to study this wonderful art of astrology. Should we use this art for the demise of our clients, for the demise of the person in need, in a dire situation, then you're better off not using this, because this art is meant for the good of people, to improve people's life, to help them, to guide them along. Such malicious acts is actually something deemed unworthy, and in fact, the spiritual world would never agree to something this horrible of a crime. This is washing your hands in dirty water, and this is something the spirits would never ever really want to do. In my opinion, should these mediums choose to do such a crime, it would be honest to God that, and in fact most people will share this opinion with me, that they're better off not doing any profession that has them in contact with any other human being, that has them dependent of their services or their speciality. With all that said and done, I wish you all a very good week ahead, and do be careful out there. For amidst the smiling faces, we never know when a criminal will surface and destroy not only your personal life, but your financial life, your love life, your family life, and in every aspect, they will destroy and burn it. Thank you very much. This is Jon Woon from the Royal Astrologers.